Welcome to the Rainbow Six Siege U.S. Division Draw Show. It is a new beginning, a new program, and we've missed you all so much. We are so excited to be here and to get things rolling. I'm Jackie Jang, and talking about people I've missed, let's bring in our analysts. Okay, chat, spam the chat right now. Drop those emotes. I want to see some hype here. Let's show some love for Veli and Jesse. Hi, guys.
What's going on, Jackie?
Chat's going wild. We are all so excited. Veli, how you feeling? I miss you, man.
I'm feeling good, baby. It's good to be back. It's good to see how the U.S. division is going to unfold, and most importantly, I'm happy for the new guy here, Jesse.
Aw, Jesse, how you feeling?
I'm
We're
so
happy to have ya.
excited. Yeah, I mean, this is like the highest level in North America. We got all the best talents on our lineup, and so I'm just so happy to be here and excited to get this season going because it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun. And let's not forget about our lovely casters. Let's show them some love. Okay, chat. Start rolling those pogs. Come on, let's see it. Blue, Stokes, Antero, and Kickstar.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Aw, hi,
Hello.
guys. Aw, y'all looking so good. Okay, we're going to be hearing more from our casters in a little bit, but we got to get this ball rolling, y'all. Okay. We are here to talk about the U.S. division. There are some significant format changes, so Veli, you're going to break that down for us, right?
All right, I'm going to make it real easy for you guys at home, especially for you too, Jackie. So you guys are saying, what's the purpose of all of this? So it's out with the old and in with the new. We're here to usher in a new era of Rainbow Six Siege. Now, a lot of you are familiar with the old Pro League, but now it's time for the new and improved version of how we do things around here. The way this works is something like we've never seen before, but now, why is this important? In stage 1, we start off with an unforgiving format for teams that used to take advantage of slacking off at the beginning of a season. If you win your first series, you are automatically top 4 in the US division. Now, if you lose, you'll have to battle it out against the unfortunates in stage 2 to battle your way to try to secure 5th and 6th place. Now, this is important because 4th through 6th will battle it out against each other and a top team from the Canadian division to qualify for the major. If you land in 8th place, though, you'll have to hurry up, wipe those tears, because you'll be thrown straight into the gauntlet versus a Challenger League team that's looking to take your place in our Tier 1 professional scene. So, most importantly, consistency is key and excuses are useless. Good luck to everybody out there.
Oh my gosh, Veli, we have 8,000 plus people in the chat right now, and there's just so many emotes dropping, it's ridiculous. I feel the excitement, I feel the enthusiasm. Let's talk about the 8 teams that make up the U.S. division. Obviously, I think all eyes are on SSG and TSM. SSG are defending champs, but TSM is right on their tail. They have a really entertaining rivalry developing here. Veli, do you agree with me on that?
I agree with you 100%. Now, for the first time ever, NA is on top of everything. That's right. We're better than the EU. We're better than Latin. We're the best in the world, baby. But most importantly, it's not just Space Station Gaming we're looking at. Take a look at the rest of the teams here, and I'm pretty sure Jesse could dive deeper into it. You have Dark Zero and TSM, even Oxygen that could take that first place.
Yeah, definitely.
Jesse, what are you thinking when you're looking at the U.S. division right now? What really sticks out to you?
I mean, certainly the top 4 in NA are always going to be the ones you got to watch out for: Space Station, Dark Zero, TSM, and Oxygen. But you can't sleep on the other guys either. I mean, Sonics and Disrupt, sort of the new teams jumping into this. Sonics have been through a lot of roster changes since we last saw them in Pro League. Disrupt Gaming, an entirely new roster, so we have no idea what that team's going to be like. And then Tempo Storm and United, they didn't do great in the most recent season of Pro League, but still, I mean, they were there, and you never know what teams are going to shape themselves up and jump in and really surprise you. So this is a great division. I'm so excited to see what these teams can bring to the table.
Okay, so we're talking about these teams, but what does today mean for these teams? What is the draw show all about? And Jesse, you're going to break that all down for us. There's a few draws going on here, so take it away, sir.
Yeah, so today we've got a lot going on. We're going to start off with just some analysis, talking with our casters, talking with us about which teams we think are going to do well. Then we're going to jump into what really people are looking for. So we're going to start off with the group draw. That means that we're going to decide who's in Group A and who's in Group B. We'll have 2 team captains or group captains who are going to make the first selections on which team they want competing against them in their group. And then the teams that were chosen are going to get the next picks to choose who fills out that group. So every team, except for the last 2, will get a choice of who they want in their group. The last 2 teams then will get the first choice in the match draw, where they will get to decide who they want in their opening matchup and who they'll play against for the very first week. Then after all that is all completed, we'll have the final draw, which is our day draw, in which the two captains who did not get to choose will now get to decide amongst themselves who wants to play on Monday and who wants to play on Wednesday. And this will have to be a decision between those two. So if they can't come to an agreement, we'll just flip a coin for them.
Okay, and Veli, a lot of strategy will be going into the decisions made today. What are you really looking forward to see? What are you excited about?
That's the best part about this show. Nobody knows what to expect from this. This is brand new. This is something we've never seen before. So, I mean, I can guess something. I could be entirely wrong right now. It's best to wait and see what these captains do when they pick who goes into their division.
Yeah, Jesse, you and I were talking about this yesterday, and we were trying to pick up patterns that we might expect, and then we're like, man, it's Siege. You never know what's going to go down.
Exactly. I mean, you can't say who's going to pick what. There are some rivalries in our league before you've even gotten started, so you can't have like Space Station choosing TSM maybe, but there's some rivals in there. If the Sonics want to pick on some of their old rivals, there's somebody else in there that could get exciting.
Who are you talking about? I think I know what you're suggesting over there.
I mean, Temple Storm and the Sonics have had a long-standing rivalry, so I'm hoping that one of them gets the opportunity to choose the other team, but we have to wait and find out.
I would love to see that. Bring on the drama. But we do have some incredible competition. We are so amped. Chat, I love you all. You guys are getting in this right now. Drop emotes right now of the team that you think is going to take it all. I want to see those emotes. Start dropping. Oh, is that TSM? Okay, TSM's looking for, EU? Okay, let's see it, guys. I want to see a waterfall of emotes. And later we are talking to the captains. The highly anticipated draws just around the corner. Don't go anywhere. Well, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Just a reminder, please follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are at R6esportsNA, and on Instagram, we are at R6esports. We got a lot of great content there, and we're always posting important updates. But I'm Jackie Jing. I'm with Veli. What's up? I've missed you.
I missed you too. So
during our break, you doing a little bit of casual play. I love you. We just love this game so much.
Siege is just flowing through my veins right now because today is an important day. We get to see where these teams are going to end up in their respective groups. We have the captains haven't even been announced yet, and I wonder if the chat even has a clue about what's happening. But we have a lot more other than that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, we have so much entertaining stuff going on, and I was telling you, the chat is going wild right now. We're just seeing all of these emotes. I told y'all, who do you think's gonna take it all? I want to see you dropping that team's emotes. I'm seeing a ton of TSM love right now, okay?
But that's gonna be really important because this next segment, 60-second highlight, we have our casters they're gonna let us know who they think is gonna be at the top. And Jackie, I know you're used to asking questions, but just real quick, who do you think is gonna take it all?
Oh my god, you can't put that pressure on
Say it
me.
with your chest.
Okay, actually, you sit right there. You know who is going to take it all?
Who?
This team, because they sent me a box with my name on it. Dark Zero is going to take it all because they sent me a box with my name on it. So that's my excuse. I'm out. That was a good segue, right? I got myself out of that one. I do love the hat, and I do love the raincoat. I wear them all the time. But yeah, Dark Zero then I guess is my choice. Okay, but we were telling you guys about the 60-second game. So Jesse and I were kind of messing around, and we were like, okay, let's do something fun with the casters. We're gonna have them pick one team that they think everyone should be keeping an eye on through the first stage. Just 60 seconds, that's all they got. No repeats. Y'all have to pick different teams, and I want to see creativity. I want to see enthusiasm. Strongest argument wins. Okay? Jesse, yes. I'm going to hand it over to you. Let's hear the boys make their case.
All right, thanks, Jackie. I'm going to hear from Stokes and Blue, who are both here with me now. Now, gentlemen, you just heard the game. You heard the rules. Hopefully, you know what's going on. Let me ask you before we get started, do you both have a team in mind that you can talk about here?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good to hear. So again, you're going to have 60 seconds. Make your case for why this is the team to watch. This is the team that people need to be worried about this season. We're going to start with you, Stokes, if that's all right. Is that okay to go first? We'll put you in the hot seat. Okay.
Argument to that at all. I mean, it's Dark Zero for me.
Stokes, you might be muted right now.
I think it's fixed now. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I think we can.
Okay, well, anyways, my team is Dark Zero. My timer's started, so Jesse, let's get right into it. I'll be the first tech problem, but hey, it's fine. We got 50 seconds. You guys already know that I can talk really fast, so we'll cut right through it. Dark Zero is the best team inside of North America. I think they've proven it time in and time again. They innovate, they improve every single season, and within the last couple of seasons, they've beaten these titans over and over again in the likes of SSG and TSM. Although they have come back to bite them, I mean, with the innovation that they have inside of this squad, especially with the mainstay duo in Hotton and Mint, what is there not to like about this squad? I mean, they have purple, they have some of the best merch in the game. What isn't there to like, Jesse? Come on.
That's a good breakdown of Dark Zero. You really sped through that. You really got a lot of extra time to go through, so I like that. I mean, keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it to the point, and
I gotta act like Zach, man. You know, the DPZ.
Maybe you were bought off too, though. I don't know if Jackie's getting those packages. I don't know if we can trust your analysis that much. Blue, you're gonna be up next. Do you think you can beat what he was putting down?
Oh, I think I can beat him because I've got the obvious pick. I'm not even gonna need the full 60 seconds for this one, I don't think. When we take a look at it, what's up?
I said, oh, he cheated. He chose Space Station.
Well, yes, that's true. I did. I'm going to pick Space Station Gaming. And why shouldn't they be the team to watch? They're the world champions of Siege for the next 6 to 8 months or however long we've got until SI 2021. And they bring a perfect combination of player styles to the table. From the more aggressive and flashy players like Rampy, Bosco, and Fultz to the more calculated ones like Thinking Nate. They all bring an amazing potential to playmake in the middle of rounds, along with a lot of clutch potential at the end of rounds as well. It's all rounded out by having probably the best IGL in the region in Canadian, who recently reproved himself once again with the victory at SI 2020. It's going to be SSG taking the crown, I think, for Season 1.
Okay, that's a pretty convincing argument as well. Sam, I mean, do you have anything to say about that? Obviously, Blue took, the team that everybody's going to be backing. They're world champions. Really, is Dark Zero better than SSG?
When it comes to innovation, I think that Dark Zero leads the pack. Obviously, you can't argue against Canadian. If anything, when it comes down to it, if you're going to have two arguments, it's more than likely going to be tied. Obviously, I mean, you can't argue against Canadian. And also, if you look at the track record, SSG has a little bit of a better track record against Dark Zero. I just feel like Dark Zero's finally going to get over those obstacles inside of North America to truly be the best team.
Okay, and Blue, any rebuttal to that? I mean, Dark Zero, they are a pretty strat heavy team. They've pretty proven themselves, but you do have the world champions.
That's very true. And there's a few issues that we've seen on LAN a couple of times now where Dark Zero has kind of fallen flat. I do think that they've gotten over that for the most part, but that's still a little bit of a worry for me, and that's why currently my vote's for Space Station.
All right, well, two teams, both really solid choices, but we got two more casters. Veli, what do those two guys think?
Thank you so much, Jesse. So I'm gonna tell you guys what I think right now. I think Bloom and Stokes, they're cop-outs. They pick the easiest answers out there. I mean, of course, we could always pick the two teams that won first place in Pro League the last two times. But Kicks, Parker, how you guys doing today, man?
Good. I'm well. How are you, Veli?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm happy to be talking to you two. Best duo in the world and everything, by the way. But first things first, okay? You guys aren't going to be cop-outs. You guys have new teams to bring to the table. Let's bring up the clock. And Taro, you're going to be the first one up. Which team do you think we should keep our eye on this season?
So I know I don't have the world champions, but for North America, I got the next best thing. I'm going to go with TSM. Probably one of the top teams in the world by everybody else's impression, and for me, certainly they're one of the best as well. They had a great performance at the 6 Invitational. They had a great performance in Pro League last season. They have shown their ability all over the world, and they're going to continue to do that. And I think that they might just be a better team this season as well in the US division. You've got 5 gentlemen, all of whom are known far and wide. You've got Achieved, who's grinded for ages. You've got Geo, who joined the team and has proven his worth. You've got 2 young prospects in Bolo and Merc who are absolutely crushing everything. In Bolo in particular, we all know you love him. When does Bolo play, you say? You never ask how Bolo is? Maybe ask how Bolo's doing. When does Bolo play? Soon, I promise you. You've got Chala, who's brand new onto the roster, and then you've got the meme master himself as their coach of Pojo Man. This is a team that does their talking on the battlefield, not just with their weapons, but also with their keyboard. So I'll end it with just 2 simple letters that everybody will know. GN.
Damn, it's good to have you guys back, man. Kicks, I don't know if you can match up to that. Parker, he preached on that one. He spit nothing but truth. But Kicks, you know the rules. Let's bring up the clock, 60 seconds. Now, TSM, Space Station, and Dark Zero, they're going to be out of the way. Who's your team to keep your eye on for the next 60 seconds?
My pick is Auction Esports. They were previously known as Reciprocity. They're an incredibly scrappy team who can go toe-to-toe with any of the giants that you could expect them to have to play against. They typically perform better as the underdogs, interestingly. Their most recent additions were Slash and Bio, who came in to replace Nyx and Retro back in March. And since this roster change, they haven't really had a chance to get their feet on the ground. And I think that this season is going to be their moment to shine. I think that this is where they're really going to take off and meet all the expectations that all of us have for them. You've got Vertical, who really is the epitome of the word talented. His mechanical skill is exceptional. You've got Lax, who is such a concrete player, so consistent. You've got Foxe, which, I mean, have you seen the man? He's adorable. And also, he contributes quite a lot in terms of leadership for the squad. You've got Bio, who is actually technically IGLing in-game, and while he's not the only leader for the team, he's one of the main ones, and he's got a lot of experience in that. Slash is also capable of filling any role the team needs, and that makes him a really well-rounded squad.
That's it, 60 seconds. So, Kicks, that was great as well. And that was really interesting that you said, even though throughout their team changes, they've never really put their feet on the ground. Now, the core of this team, Parker and Taro, they have dealt with a lot of inconsistency. They've always had the talent to be star players and the best in the league, but they've never been able to get up there in the rankings at the end of the season. Do you think that this season might possibly be where Oxygen shows the world that they're the real deal?
I think so.
I mean, it's honestly, it's so hard when you've got the top 3 teams cemented in this region, right? You know, you've got Space Station, TSM, you've got Dark Zero. I think Oxygen are on the same level, but that inconsistency is the real killer here. You know, they had a good run at the 6 Invitational last year, not most recently, but the year before, and they've definitely got the tools at their disposal to get there. I'm not going to try and pretend that I know what goes on behind the scenes with that team. I don't know how their IGLing is. I don't know what their work ethic is or their preparation, etc. But it is certainly a team on paper that is more than capable of challenging at the top. My only worry is that North America is getting more competitive, and the US division is probably going to be the most competitive we've seen of this region. So if Oxygen is going to knock off those consistency issues, they're going to need to do that ASAP because they might find themselves falling behind.
And you love to see it. So, Kicks, one last time before we throw it back to continue the segment. So, Intero picked TSM. Is this where TSM finally picks up the ball and passes Space Station as the best team in NA, especially with the latest pickup of Shala?
Yeah, I think that Chala coming onto the roster is going to be really good. I know there's a lot of controversy around this one, but Chala as a player, I think, has always been undervalued in the scene. And Pojo as a player, while valuable, I think could be more valuable as a coach. Putting him in the back end, having him being in a leadership position for that squad, I think is going to really amp up their play. Because, I mean, if you've ever met Pojo, you know what I'm talking about when I say he's one of the nicest guys you're ever going to encounter. He's a great leader, and he's extremely knowledgeable. So seeing if he's going to be able to apply that to the back end of TSM and prop them up in ways like, for example, Shaz on G2 in Europe, maybe that's possible. And I think with Pojo, it certainly is.
Those are great points, actually, Kicks. But Kickstar and Tara, I want to thank you so much. Let's throw this back over to Jackie and Jesse, where we're going to discuss what you guys have been talking about for the past, 4 minutes?
All right, thanks so much. Veli, oh, you're with us. Hey, what's going on, man? It's not just me and Jesse. Veli, are you going to break it down now, though? Or
I'm going to be honest, Jackie.
I know you... Yeah.
They have some great points. Kicks and Blue, they had the easy picks. Parker and Kicks actually have some really interesting ones about runner-ups and whatnot. But me personally, I believe that the underdog always has the best storyline. So it's easy to pick the best team statistically, but from the rankings in the past or whatnot. But to me, you know what? Put the clock on. I'm going to have my 60 seconds, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
I feel like one team that everybody is sleeping on out there is going to be one and only Susquehanna Sonics. Now, the reason why I picked them, and yes, I get it. The track record is trash, okay? But with their latest pickups, they've seemed to improve every single time. They picked up Gonfi and Slebin, 2 Europeans that came to NA. They've been tearing it up ever since. They pick up easily, okay? Easily. He's a legend in the scene. But the number one pickup to me is going to be their newest entry fragger, which is going to be Iconic. And I spoke to Super. I said, hey, man, why Iconic? Why are you guys going to pick him up out of everyone else? And Super said, hey, the man is just willing to get better and learn. He just seemed just so far up there ahead of everybody else. So I respect that. I want to see what the young gunner is going to have to bring. We've seen what Merc and Foltz did. Maybe Iconic might be the latest and greatest. So I'm really looking forward to Susquehanna Sonics for getting possibly a top 4 finish at the end of the season. And that's going to be my hot take. I hope they prove me right because I might look stupid at the end of the season.
No, okay, Veli. I mean, that's valid. Iconic, I think, just turned 18. He's a strong young player with a lot of potential. And easily, he used to be in Rogue. He's a strong fragger, has good experience. So, okay, I'm not sleeping on Sonics. I see.
I'm going to risk it with them. I believe in them.
Okay, you made a good argument there.
Okay.
Do we want to decide on who won?
Yeah.
Who won?
I mean, okay, I was thinking that, certainly Veli made some good points with the Sonics, but I also, can't really bring myself to vote for Super as the best team. So, I was leaning towards Space Station with Blue's arguments, but I think Parker actually did convince me. So my vote's going to go to TSM and Parker, because that was a really good performance by Parker, and he really did bring out the key points of TSM, even though they're not world champions.
All right, Jesse, Veli, we got a lot ahead of us. We're going to be talking to the team captains coming up and some coaches, and also all of those draws. Oh my gosh, the excitement is palpable. We will be right back. And welcome back, everybody. Whew. Oh my gosh, the competition is intense, and we are ready for group announcements. So let's get to it and see who is leading Group A and Group B. And we know it's SSG and TSM. Space Station Gaming is going to be Group A, and TSM is Group B. So Group A picks first. You guys, what are you thinking about this? Which teams do you think that SSG and TSM are going to be picking?
Jesse, you go first. I have no idea what's even going through their heads at the moment.
I mean, there's a lot to consider, right? Obviously, these are like the best captains because they are, easily the two best teams in America, the world champions, and those that were right behind them. So this makes sense for the leaders. As for who they'll pick, they could go with the foes that they know. I think that E United and Tempo Storm finishing a little bit lower in the standings last season, that would be a good reason to pick up those two teams. But if I had to guess, I'd probably say that these two teams are more looking to the newer squads. I mean, the Sonics, they've gone through a lot of changes recently, so they're going to be a little bit shakier just based off that fact. And they've also not been playing in Pro League, so they've been scrimming, of course, but they won't necessarily have that same practice ready that all the other teams have had for the past 6 months. So there's that factor, and Disrupt are an entirely new roster. Yeah. So totally, they've been scrimming, they've been practicing, but they still haven't been in official matches. They haven't been in those intense situations. They haven't really been tested. So while it might be a bit risky to go for a team, especially like Disrupt, I think probably that's where we're going to see Space Station and TSM go. So if I had to choose, I think the opening picks will probably be in some order, either the Sonics or Disrupt Gaming.
Okay, yeah. Belly, what about you?
Taking a look at Space Station and their history, I mean, this team is extremely organized, so I personally don't see them picking one of the newer teams, even though they probably could bully them with their organization and strategies. I can see them picking a team that they're just used to beating up on. I could see them picking on, a Tempo Storm, because they know them. They have VOD on them, which is extremely important. Now, TSM, you take a look at those guys. I honestly don't think they even care about the competition, because in order to be the best, you're going to have to beat everyone else that's trying to be the best. So TSM, it really doesn't even matter at that point, because they have gunners on that squad, and good luck to anyone that goes against them.
And I want to talk about some of the teams that we didn't talk about during the last segment here. Let's talk about Disrupt a little bit more. What do you think they're going to bring to the table this season?
I have no idea. Really? This is a brand new team. So as far as I'm concerned, their scrims aren't public. I mean, we only know what we see on Twitter, just word of mouth. So it's really not smart to put out what other teams have told you out there on the air. But on Disrupt Gaming, you have a group of veterans, a group of players who've been there before, mid, at the top, you name it. So with players like Nyx and Retro on that roster, they're very smart, especially Retro. So it's going to be interesting who they pick once they're picked as well, because to them, it's always chess. It's never checkers. So I really like Disrupt Gaming's chances, but at the end of the day, we still have to see it.
Jesse, what are you thinking about Disrupt?
I think Disrupt are just a super interesting and exciting roster. Obviously, the organization has been with Siege for a really, really long time. They've been fielding Challenger League teams for, I think, 4 seasons in a row now. So, they've been around the scene. They kind of knew, what players were worth looking out for. And so they built their own roster. And it does look like it's really good on paper. You've got a lot of veterans. I really like the recent announcement of NJR jumping onto this lineup. Of course, he's been in the underage leagues for a while, just sort of turned 18. So he's just, able to play in the league.
Is he good?
And it's hard to know, right? Because if you were paying attention to some of those underage leagues, then you should know. But from what I've heard, he's a really calm player, a really good player. Obviously, he can absolutely frag out with the best of them. And the mental state for him is a really key thing, because he's not going to get angry. He's not going to get tilted on game day. So I think NJR is a really big question mark that brings a lot to this roster of already, full of question marks. So I'm really excited to see what he can bring. I think that Disrupt are a little bit slept on. So I am really interested to see how they do this season.
All right, thanks so much, guys. And we are going to hand it over to Antero. What are you thinking, Antero? You excited?
I am. I'm really eager to see how some of these teams are going to compete, if I'm being honest with you. We've got a couple new looks on these rosters, and they're going to be coming in on this, this inaugural season that we have. I am fascinated to see what they come up with in terms of strats for Oregon, now that it's in the map pool, to see how Oryx and Yana, presuming that they're going to be available, will also factor in some changes to other operators. I think it's going to be incredible. And, I've got 3 other experts here with me that are more than happy to share their opinions too. So what are our thoughts here looking at the teams?
I mean, I'm curious to see who's going to be picking who for those groups. That's what I'm mostly focused on. I want to know, is it going to be just let's take who we think is the weakest link? Are we going to be taking who we think is going to be a late pick because they're a good team, but we as a team think we'll go well against that squad? Who's picking who? I don't know what the right strategy is going to be. I'm curious to find out what the TSM and SSG strategies are. That's what I want to know.
There's also the possibility too of like teams potentially already thinking, the captains this is already thinking to themselves that they have a lock on one team that maybe, like for instance, you look at like a matchup like SSG versus Oxygen. If SSG feels they have an outright advantage over them, they may want to take the risk of putting that stronger team into their group earlier on, just because they know they might have some inherent advantage against them or something like that, and that they can take them even though they're a much closer matchup. There's actually like a lot of like very deep thinking that I think these teams have to do when they decide, especially for their first pick, who they want to put in their group.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's either going to be the risky take and trying to take a team that could possibly come back to bite you like Dark Zero, or going for those easier picks to just try and bully on the weaker talent.
It's a big risk no matter which way you go, right? If you started off with what you perceive to be a weaker team, I mean, you might not even get to play against them early on, so it might not work to your advantage. No matter how you swing this, though, it's going to be an interesting series. You know, if you told me a few years ago that we were going to have a system like this for teams to figure out who they're going to be playing against and who's going to be in their group, I would have said that's hilarious. They're not going to know who to pick. But we've gotten to a point now with Rainbow Six Esports where these guys on the back end, the thinking that they're putting into their decision making is just top tier. And as Blue mentioned, there's a lot that they're going to have to consider when they decide who is going to come into their group.
Yeah, and these teams have been scrimming each other as well for the last couple weeks, whether it be on the TS or not, and they have a very good idea of if there's been any significant improvements on these rosters. You know, we don't exactly have our ear to the ground when it comes to these scrim reports the same way that they do. And you have to realize that not every meta is going to suit every team. We've seen just one or two operators get tweaked and the meta changes ever so slightly. And that's enough to knock a top 3 team down towards the bottom of the standings. So they will have a much better idea of who's strong right now, who could be strong in the future. And as many of you said, what is like the game theory almost behind bringing in a possibly stronger team now in hopes of it paying off down the road.
I completely agree with you. And I think that the main thing to highlight as well, as you were talking about earlier with those newer operators coming in, Parker, I think Iana could honestly change a lot of strategy coming into Siege. I mean, the ability to use, the ability to use her Gemini just as more intel and you don't lose a drone because of it, I think can help out a lot of squads with that intel game. Granted, she isn't going to be as impactful as someone like Dokkaebi, for instance, but I still feel like she could enter a very, very good flex position.
You know, on Yana, I think that there's a couple things that you could use her well for. Like you said, intel gathering. My main thing that I'm curious to see if pros are going to use is, are they going to use her as an entry frag, so to trade out her ability? Because if you see we're down in the 22nd meta, right? And it's attacker 5 men alive, a defender 5 men alive. The action's just about to start. If you see that Yana ability come in first, it baits out the initial shots from the defense, and the team fight might skew towards the attackers. And I think that could be a pretty valuable tool for attack to use. But the big question is, you brought it up yourself, Stokes, is it as valuable as a Dokkaebi phone call or any other attacker utility? And, you know, with Yana's ability being on such a long cooldown, you run a lot of risks bringing her.
Yeah, and it basically depends on how clean of a push that I think that Yana drone is going to be able to get for itself. If it can get deep enough into the site where it finds as much as a normal drone would find, like 3 to 4 players, it's going to be incredibly useful. But the problem is going to be whether, you know, players can find those types of openings consistently, and I don't think it's going to be so easy to do so with how like turtle heavy the meta can be sometimes right now, especially with things like Goyo in play.
The one thing that we do see from her in particular is that she brings frag grenades to the table as well. You know, Buck losing frag grenades is massive because while his skeleton key is still going to be perfectly applicable, you need that little bit of extra explosives, you know, and I don't think that we're going to see as much Buck play. I expect we'll see Sledge fill that role. Maverick's got frag grenades and so does Yana. So there is explosive potential there if they need it to help clear through all this bulletproof utility. And it's going to be fascinating because that's just Yana. And I know that we could probably talk about this for another 10 minutes or so, but that's ignoring the fact that there's still Oryx and whether he'll have an impact on defense. And then we haven't really gotten a good look at how the Jaeger change, the Mozzie change, the Buck change, and the Goyo change are going to impact comp play either.
or even Ying for that matter. I mean, Ying has smokes again. How damaging is that going to be to this meta that we've been talking about for so long? I mean, it feels like ever since February kicks that we've been talking about utility soak, utility soak, utility soak, and now we're back to Ying even better than Release. She has a better T95, she has smokes, and she's got 3 Candelas that actually work, folks. They actually blind the whole room. I mean, if you're even close to it, you can guarantee your screen's going to be entirely white.
There's so many things to consider going into this new season when it comes to the operators and whatnot. The new format that we've got in those best of 3s, I think that's probably the most exciting thing for a lot of these teams. They got to be looking forward to having that kind of competition. And yeah, I mean, having all that to talk about, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of moments to get over all of those little points as we go along.
Well, that's it for us and our thoughts. We'll toss it back to Jackie, though, and bring her up on your screen. Thanks for hearing what we had to say.
Always lovely to hear what you fine gentlemen have to say. Thank you so much. And Taro, some wonderful insight there. And thank you guys all for being here. We have roughly 11,000 people in chat. Y'all dropping lots of emotes, having a lot of great conversations in there. So we're so happy to have you here. And please do not go anywhere. We have a lot of entertaining stuff ahead of us. Group draw, match draw, day draw. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. I am with Jesse. How you doing? It's so fun to get all this stuff started again, right?
Oh my god, I'm doing so good. Like, we're finally getting into things, and it's been so many like weeks and months of just been, oh, it's anticipation. We're finding out slowly information, like things are coming out, but we're still just waiting and waiting and waiting, and there's nothing to watch in terms of competitive Siege. And finally here we're getting our first like taste of it. We're gonna be talking to Captain soon, which is really, really exciting. I don't know, I'm just very happy to be here, and yeah, it's so exciting.
Waiting. Well, no more of that. The group draw is about to happen, everybody. Okay, chat, I want you all to get excited here. Let's see those team emotes. I want to see the chat just filling up with those. Okay, here we go, guys. I'm going to hand it over to Veli. He is with Lycan and Achieved. Let's get this group draw underway. Hey, Veli.
All right, thank you so much for the throw, Jackie. Now, we're going to have the one and only, the Papa of Siege, world champion. It's not Lycan, it's Canadian.
Not Lycan.
How you doing, man?
What up? I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Canadian. It feels good to see you again. And also, Achieve, man. The last few lands I've seen you at, you've been A1, T1. You've been the man. How ready are you for this draft?
I mean, I guess we're ready. I mean, we already know who we're picking, so it's just kind of like, I don't know, we're just waiting to see who everyone else picks, you know what I mean? Yeah, we're just waiting.
All right. So, Canadian, I'm going to put you on the clock, man. So, the first team that's going to go in Group A, who's it going to be? And let me know why you chose this team.
Well, actually, we had our initial pick lined up thinking that the event was going to be on LAN. It was actually going to be Dark Zero, but it ended up being online. And you know how they go from chumps on LAN to champs online. So we're going with Disrupt Gaming instead.
All right, there you have it. That's actually interesting. Try to expose Dark Zero on LAN, but Disrupt Gaming, they're gonna be the first team placed in the Group A other than Space Station Gaming. So there you have it. What the newcomers going against the world champions. Now Group B, Achieve. You already know who it is, man. Just spit it out.
I mean, we pretty much have the same philosophy, I guess. We're gonna pick the Sonics, so the newcomers into Pro League, and you know, hopefully introduce them.
All right, so you pick Sonics. You obviously know why, but I mean, do you just see an easy win if they ever go against you? Like, what was the deal with picking them, really?
I mean, every time we've played the Sonics, we've played them on LAN, we've played them online, and we've always played really well against them. And we've scrimmed them a bit too, so we kind of know what to expect. And I mean, they're kind of one of the teams that we'd rather play online right now rather than on LAN, I guess.
All right, sounds good. Before I send this back over to Jackie, Canadian, I have one more question, man. Ever since you guys became world champions, #1 in Pro League, has there been like a target on your back during scrims? Like, our teams trying harder, trying to gun for that throne?
I mean, that's just how it is, right? Like when you're the best team in the world, like everyone looks at you to see how you play the game and tries to play the game like you, or tries to beat how you play the game. So, I mean, that's how it is.
Right.
I've experienced it before, so like I know it. I'm familiar with it. I mean, the rest of the guys know it's a very real thing and that we have to deal with it. And I mean, I think we've kind of already had to deal with it, and I think we're handling it well. So, yeah.
All right, now I want to thank you guys so much for moving along in this draft. We're going to send this over to Jesse, where he continues on.
Thank you, Veli. I'm standing by. Disrupt and Sonics just got chosen, which means I'm going to be here with Nyx and Super. All right, I'm going to address it right now. Super, I love the look.
Thank you.
You're looking fly, and I appreciate you putting an effort for the show. You guys both just got chosen first, and so I mean, usually first pick, that's kind of a great thing, but this might kind of mean, you know, you're not thought of too highly. I'll start with you, Nyx. The whole field was open for you, and you know, Space Station, they came right for you guys. Is that a mistake? Did they make an error selecting you guys as the first pick?
You know, obviously they're not going to think so, but you know, we have a lot of confidence in this roster, and I think that if SSG wants to look at us as an underdog or look at us like, you know, like we're weak and that they can beat up on us, I want them, you know, I want them to give it their best try, because we're ready for everything. So.
Okay, I think that's a good answer. Super. I mean, same thing to you. You obviously weren't chosen first, but still pretty early. That must mean that TSM doesn't think so highly of you. Is that a mistake?
I actually disagree. I think if you look at the way we're going to be doing the matchup drawings, it's actually pretty unlikely that TSM is going to play us first. So I actually think it makes more sense for them to pick us. I'm pretty sure the majority of the other teams are pretty happy that they're like, you know, if I'm Disruptor, I'm SSG, I'm probably thankful that we're not in their group. So from TSM, I kind of, I take it a little bit sign of respect, because they know they're not going to play us now.
Okay, so you say that TSM chose you because you're such a strong team, and now the likelihood of them playing you in the first round is pretty low.
Right.
Okay, well, I can respect that. Let's get into things. Boys, this is why we're here. Nyx, we're going to start with you. You get the next pick. Who will be joining you and Space Station Gaming in Group A?
So we're going to go ahead and select E United.
E United, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so we just think E United. I mean, I think E United is not. So obviously, you're not going to pick DZ, you're not going to pick Rec, right? Because those are two titans of NA, and then you know, the other team that would be up for grabs would be Tempo Storm, and I think Tempo Storm's like really well staffed. Obviously, I'm a bias in that regard, because my dad actually plays for Tempo. He's the analyst for Tempo Storm, so I just think, you know, for all those reasons, I think Tempo Storm's a little bit better staffed than United, and I think we have a better chance of beating them than, and not saying we wouldn't have good chances of beating other teams. I just think United's a little bit weaker than Tempo.
Okay, I think that's a fair argument for picking E United. Super, I'm going to go to you. Now, there's a team still in this pool that I think a lot of people are excited to see you guys go up against. There's been some history there. Right. I'm not going to put a name in your mouth, but tell me now, who are you choosing for Group B?
We're going to be selecting Dark Zero.
Okay. A little bit of a curveball. Again, interesting that you choose with what many people would consider to be the strongest roster still in the pool. Is that still going with your theory of you want to choose strong teams so that they don't end up playing you in the first round?
Well, I don't know if people realize the way that the drawing is going to work, but the last team pick selects who they want to play, right? So if Correct. I were to pick Tempo Storm, we wouldn't play them anyway. We'd end up playing TSM. So it makes more sense to me to pick Dark Zero and then give, which is probably, I'm going to guess, Oxygen Esports ends up being the last team in our group. They then have to pick between one of us three, which I'm assuming they're going to play us. And if Oxygen Esports wants to play us, I'm fine with that.
Okay. This is why I love this format, because you really can get into the strategy. I think that's a large reason why we wanted to go with something like this, because there's a lot of different ways to think about this, and I get your logic. It seems like it'll work out. So that's an interesting way to go about it. I like that. Thank you, boys, for both joining me. We're now going to go down to Stokes to be talking to the captains of E United and Dark Zero.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I'm here with Callout and Mint, as you guys can see on their respective sides. So I guess we'll start off with you, Callout. I haven't talked to you in forever, man. How you doing? How's Group A? What's your thoughts?
Good. How are you? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I think we match up pretty well against Disrupt and Space Station, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
All right. Well, Mint, how you feeling about it? Sonics and TSM, man. How you feeling?
What's going on, Stokes? Sonic's TSM, I think Super actually really smart. I think it's exactly what we would have done in the same position. I think it's better to pick us now, not let us have a matchup that we want first, but I don't think it's going to matter.
All right, well, guys, you got a couple picks coming up very soon. How are you guys feeling about? I mean, everything so far. You guys like the new format that we're using? Is everything right at home? Are you guys excited about this new inaugural season of NAL?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a good change going to best of 3.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah,
well, you know what? Let's cut. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Apologies. What were you gonna say, my friend?
All good. No, just super excited, ready to show people that we're not just an online team, and we'll see if we can knock SSG off their high horse.
Okay, so some smack talk already. I like it. We've seen it throughout all the cams so far with everybody coming in. So I guess it's time to get down to these picks, guys. Call out your Group A. What's your thoughts? Who are you picking?
We're gonna pick OXG for our group.
Oh, okay. Oxygen coming into Group A, and what's your thought process behind that?
I don't know. I think just based off like either them or Tempo, it's kind of like we match up better against them than Tempo. Tempo's a pretty good team, I think, and so is Oxygen, obviously, but we do a lot better against Oxygen.
And also, you just wanted to put Tempo in there with Super, didn't you? That was the actual plan,
Yeah.
Well, Mint, you really don't have a choice, man. They're going to Group B. Do you want us to say it officially to make it sound like you had any choice in this? Or, I mean, how do you feel about Tempo going into Group B?
Yeah, sure. Dark Zero selects Tempo Storm. I feel like either way, I didn't think we were really going to get a choice. So pretty much played out exactly, how I thought it would. And if we did have a choice, it would probably be Tempo. We played them probably the most as scrim partners. Super comfortable against them. So, if we do have a chance to play them, we'll be super confident.
Well, fantastic, guys. The groups are now selected, guys. We've got Group A and Group B completely put together. I'm going to toss it back over to Jackie.
Thanks so much, Stokes. And right now I am with Laxing with Oxygen and Dreams from Tempo Storm. And how are you guys feeling about how this all played out? Laxing, I'm going to start off with you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. Kind of a shocking result of how we got picked. We kind of thought we were going to be picked last, just like with Dark Zero, but worked out kind of how we expected.
Okay, Dreams, what about you? Where you guys ended up? I thought Sonics was going to pick you guys. There's a little rivalry there.
Yeah, I thought they were going to pick us too, but either way, it doesn't matter. We could still try and slam them.
So how do you feel about where you guys ended up? Do you feel like maybe teams are intimidated by you, or maybe you're not even on their radar? Laxing, what do you think?
I guess our thought process in the beginning of it was that TSM and Space Station were going to pick weaker teams to be in the pool, and then from the weaker teams, we're going to kind of then pick again weaker teams. So Sonics kind of hit a curveball with that one. Definitely wasn't expecting that, but we kind of figured that us and DZ were going to be last, but turns out DZ isn't, and we are last, so I was kind of expecting this for sure. Okay,
Dreams, what about you? Is this a little bit surprising?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised Sonics threw in that curveball there, but it's nothing we can't handle. So Group B is looking like fire. I'm ready to destroy them all.
Hey, okay, throwing some shade already. Well, do not go where we're going to have the match draw coming up here. So you guys have a little bit of time to think about all of this. What's going through your heads right now? What do you think, Laxine?
I'm excited to pick our group first and not pick our group first, but pick our matchup first. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, Dreams, what about you?
Y'all already know what our first pick's going to be.
Oh my goodness, I love it. All right, well, we are super excited here, and we're gonna be right back with the match draw. You guys got just a little bit of time to think about it. So, all right, we'll be right back. Are we right back? And welcome back to the Rainbow Six Siege US Division Draw Show. I'm Jackie Jing. I'm with Veli and Jesse. Y'all doing a great job. So happy to be here with you guys. So what did you think about that first draw? It was actually a little surprising, right?
I think this draw was built off of rivalry, especially in Group B. I mean, the fact that Tempo Storm, you heard him, he said, hey, you know we're going to play first. So you have Sonics, Dark Zero got called out as well for basically being bums on land. So these teams, they definitely have something against one another or each other. So it's just going to be all about the matchups. And with Tempo Storm and Oxygen picking who they play first, that's going to really change things up.
And Jesse, I love how you were telling Super, you're like, we know who you're going to pick. And then it was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, man. That was a curveball. That was crazy what ended up happening there. Obviously, Super had like a game plan and he had a strategy. And I think it worked out for him. Like, you're going to probably end up with two of the stronger teams in your group either way. He gets to choose which of the stronger teams it is. And he probably is going to go up against an easier opponent first off. So like Super was really thinking ahead of the game. He's thinking, okay, what are the teams after me going to choose? You know, I know people don't love giving credit to Super, but you have to in here. I think he drafted really, really smart. And because of it, his team's going to have a bit of an advantage in their opening matchup.
Okay, and let's talk about Group A, SSG, Disrupt, United, Oxygen, and then for Group B, TSM, Sonics, Dark Zero, and Tempo Storm. What do we think of these groups individually?
Is it okay if I start on Group A, Jesse?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so Group A, I think is any man's group right there, to be honest, and that's going to be my hottest take right there. So you take a look at Oxygen, and you guys know, I call Laxing the walking a highlight reel. I think Foxay is extremely underrated throughout the populace of all of Rainbow Six Siege. Vertical's one of the best. Take a look at United, the lad pad. You got the duo. You have Yeti and Alfama. They've been getting progressively better. So if Disrupt Gaming can bring in their veteran leadership and gameplay, I really think that SSG is going to walk out first no matter what. But other than that, anybody could win, and that's going to make this even more exciting. But most importantly, these guys, they're going to have to really bring their A game on the first day, because if you don't, you're out of top 4.
Jesse, what do you think about Group A?
I think Group A is going to be pretty competitive and pretty fun. Obviously, like Space Station, they're the world champions. They're going to be the favorites no matter what happens. But if you take a look at their most recent games that they played in the last season of Pro League, they actually had like a lot of 7-5s against the teams that are in our league here. So they had a lot of really close contests. The only 7-5 that they played against, or non-7-5, I should say, that they played against a team that wasn't in, or that are in our group, or in our league, I should say, was Oxygen. They beat them 7-2. And so I think Space Station are really happy to have Oxygen in their group. Out of the top 4, probably that's the best one for Space Station to have. So they've got to be really happy about that. I think easily they're going to take this group.
Veli, Group A, 1 through 4. We're putting that question on you. What do you think it's going to be?
Space Station and Oxygen 1 and 2. Outside of 1 and 2, it doesn't even matter. You're all last place. So yeah, that's going to be my pick. Oxygen and SSG.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Jesse?
I mean,
probably and board.
Yeah, I can't put Space Station not first. I can't put Oxygen not second. I think Disrupt might surprise some people. I'm gonna put them ahead of United.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Disrupt third, United fourth.
All right, now let's move over to Group B. What do we think about Group B? TSM, Sonics, Dark Zero, Tempo Storm. I mean, TSM is going to come out first here, I think, without a question. Would you agree with that, Belly?
I don't think it's going to be that easy.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. So you're gonna have to break down what happened during that interview. Tempo Storm, they're gonna go against the Susquehanna Sonics, so you have that rivalry and that matchup right then and there.
Great rivalry.
No one really knows. Well, actually, if you look at the history book, Sonics always slap up Tempo Storm. So we'll see if things change this time around with these new additions to both rosters. But Dark Zero versus TSM is going to be it. Now, if that matchup happens, we're going to have two heavyweights facing off in the first round, and the loser really might not make it. So that's going to be interesting. And, you know, TSM versus Dark Zero online. I mean, Jesse, is it easy to really predict?
No, definitely it's not easy to predict, especially with a new format of best of threes. You know, it's great to look at the previous seasons and say like, okay, for sure we've had like, yeah, you know, this was this team beat that team, but those are all best of ones. Yeah. Really different format playing a best of three. So no, I'm really excited to see what happens. I wouldn't want to put money on that game for sure.
No.
Okay, and you know, I said TSM coming out first, but I mean, we can't sleep on Dark Zero. That's an exceptional team.
Online.
I really think it could go either way. What do you think, Valley?
If it's online, I mean, I love TSM, but Dark Zero, they're just way too good. Their confidence is always at an all-time high when it comes to online. Now, if somehow Corona gets a cure and we play online, I'm 100% going with Dark Zero that way as well. But TSM, I really think that they can possibly be right now the best team in NA. You really, it's a coin flip at that point. But still, that's going to be a fun game. I still think the most fun one is going to be Tempo against Sonics. It's going to be a meme fest.
Definitely.
I want to hear the trash talking. And Super better hope he beats Crazy this time as well.
Jesse, what are you looking forward to more? Seeing TSM versus Dark Zero, Tempo Storm versus Sonics? Like, I don't know.
Gosh.
I don't know.
That's just such an exciting group. That's a really difficult question to answer. I guess I'm more looking... probably I'm more looking forward to the match between Dark Zero and TSM, but I'm really looking forward to the post-game interview between Sonics and Tempo Storm. So that's probably where the entertainment's going to peak for me. I don't know. I think that probably we're bound for some really, really crazy fun games in the Group B, no matter what.
What did Stokes say yesterday? That Crazy and Super were social distancing before it was a thing, right?
USN.
Oh man. All right. Well, talking about Stokes, let's hand it over to Stokes and Blue. Hey, you guys, we're gonna get this match draw underway.
All right. Thank you very much, Jackie. We are moving into our match draw now, and we have Laxing and Dream with us once again from Oxygen and Tempo. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So it's time to move into that match draw process, but before we get into that, of course, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more here. Laxing, we'll start with you. Is it a blessing or a curse to be in your current position? You don't have a choice in your choices for who you get to play, but you get to make that decision of who you get to play.
I mean, it's more fate than anything. We kind of, like I said in the interview with Jackie, that we were expecting to be picked last. So that way we'd be picking first for the competition-wise in terms of who we play. So just kind of played out in our favor, and we kind of wanted to be in Group A. So I think it's played out perfectly fine.
How about for you, Dream?
In Group B, we really get to show our strength, I guess. I think Group B is much stronger than Group A, and we get to prove that we're top 4.
Gotcha. Stokes, any other questions you might have for these guys before we get our business over with here and get the match draw done?
I mean, Laxing already said he expected this to happen. He expected them to be last. He expected to be picking who he's going to be playing against, and he's happy about Group A. I mean, Dream seems pretty happy about Group B, but Dream, I want to know, man, did you assume that Super was just going to come for your guys' necks immediately? Are you ready for that amount of smoke in Group B? Are you ready for all the fire that's going to be created inside of the NAL? Because I feel like you guys are going to burn the whole place down.
I mean, from Sonics, there is no smoke. They don't even know how to shoot back, so.
Ooh. Ooh. Did they turn the mouse on? Did you try that?
I about to see tweets from you, Dream?
You about to see a lot of tweets.
There we go. That's that boy. Where's your backdrop, man?
Hey, it's not my fault they didn't send it to me.
You might as well have used your best spread for the backdrop.
Oh man.
Right.
Not like this. He said you got the full bed in the background, bro. What are you doing? Oh, no.
at least he has the beard, man. At least he has the beard. I don't know shit, so it's tough.
Dude, I'm the same way. Do you realize how much crap that I get for this, Lex? I get so much crap for this, man. They realize I look 12 under this. You know, what do you do about that?
All right, guys. Well, let's try to bring it back to business here now. It is, I believe, time to do our match draw. We'll be starting off with Group A. So, Laxing, go ahead and choose your initial opponent for your group.
We are definitely going to choose Disrupt first.
All right. Disrupt Gaming will be your initial opponent, and that means the remaining two teams in the group will be facing against each other. Any specific reason why you've chosen to go with Disrupt?
They're newer, so I mean, doesn't take anything away from the players. They all have pro league experience, the majority of them. We just feel that they are weaker in terms of the other teams, so we're definitely going to try to take advantage of that and just go into the first play day, whatever day that falls on, and just take advantage of it.
All right, and with that, we will now go over to our Group B pick. Tempo Storm Dream, it is now your turn to choose an opponent for your group. Let's hear who you're going to face first.
We're going to take the opposite approach of Laxing. We're going to pick the best team in our group, and we're picking TSM.
Wow!
Oh my
all right.
God!
So,
this is either like the best thing that's ever happened to us, or this is a suicide mission. We're gonna find out which. But I got two questions. One for each of you. We'll start off with Laxing in Group A. Lax, NJR, what are your thoughts on this guy? We've never seen him play before. There's a lot of words on the street, but I mean, I know you're a straight shooter. Let me know, how are you feeling about Disrupt?
Yeah, I mean, they've gone through the roster changes. We've scrimmed against them a few times, and playing against NJR, I mean, he definitely has potential. You know, I'm not going to sit here and shit on somebody or anything like that. He definitely has potential. I think there's a lot of growth that he can, you know, make happen over time, but that also comes down to him as a player to see how much he's willing to put in and, you know, continue his career into professional gaming. So I think, you know, he definitely brings a lot to the table, but again, we picked them because we feel that they're weaker in our group and we want to take advantage of that.
All right, we'll have to see how you do with that. All right, Dream, big question for you. We haven't seen Sloppy play a single game inside of North America. Is he the game changer? Is he the man to take down TSM?
Yeah, I mean, the man doesn't whiff, so we're going to be good.
I feel like I know why Tempo put you here now. They're like, Dream talks the most crap. We're just going to set him right here, and we're just going to have him just speak the gospel that is Tempo Storm.
And we have to expand, of course, on the pick itself. Now, why go with TSM? Why take the opposite approach to what Oxygen did here?
They were second place last season, so they're statistically the best in our group. So we want to slam them, get them out of the way, and then we'll move forward onto the rest.
You're going with the first is the worst, second is the best. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we'll be seeing how that strategy works out for you guys. Thank you once again, guys, for your time here. But that'll do it for us for now. It's now time to send it over with Intero and Kix, who have the reaction from the teams that you guys just chose.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. I mean, Achieved looks like he couldn't be more relaxed right now. And yeah, I mean, I have not seen somebody so casual. So I guess I'll start with you. Achieved, you got called out by Tempo Storm. What was your main takeaway from that light trash talk you heard?
Oh, my bad. I am so sorry. We played them last season. I think it was our they were the only team that we 7-0'd. So, I mean, I don't think the stats lie there. I mean, I don't really have to say anything else.
Well, I hope you play better than you just tried to convey that at the start, because not exactly promising signs against Tempo Storm. Nyx, your thoughts, the takeaway. You got called out a little bit more aggressively. How does that make you feel as the leader of a new team?
You know,
Honestly, it just motivates us. I think Oxygen made a mistake picking us, honestly. And yeah, I'm ready to play. Honestly, whatever the day is, I don't know how the date. I know we haven't figured out the dates for the games yet, but we're really excited to play against them whenever that is.
Did you expect this right off the bat? Did you expect to get picked first overall in your group?
We knew that we were definitely going to get drawn either first or second. I actually thought that TSM was going to pick us and SSG wasn't. But SSG decided to pick us first, which is fine. And after the full groups were announced, we 100% knew that Oxygen was going to pick us. And like I said before, I think it was a mistake on their part. So.
Why is that, if you don't mind me asking? Do you just stack up better against Oxygen? Anything happening in scrims that gives you that confidence to go off of?
Obviously, some things we can't disclose or can't reveal, but I think Oxygen is a great team. You can't underestimate them. But I just think that when it comes, actually time for like game day, I think we're gonna have the upper hand.
If you'd gotten an opportunity to pick your opponent for this group, would it have been Oxygen or somebody else?
If we got the opportunity to pick, we probably would have picked E United, but we're not upset about playing Oxygen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Achieved. I got to bring you into this conversation. So I know that from your perspective, Tempo, you think there's not a lot to talk about there, but you got to admit it takes some serious balls to go out and pick you as their first match. Why is it that they picked you, do you think, for the short term?
I'm guessing they want to go ahead and lose to the best team in the group already, like really early. If I had to guess, like that's their approach. They want to go ahead and get their first loss and then move on and play the rest of the teams in the group. So I guess I don't know. I guess that's their approach, but I'll give them props to picking us. I guess. I mean, good luck.
It's an interesting strategy, isn't it? Having coming out and just picking TSM right off the cuff. I'm really curious to see how that one pans out. Do you think there's any chance for what I think the majority of people here today would call an upset?
I would definitely say that was like an upset pick. I guess I'm sure everyone expected them to pick like the Sonics, or yeah, for like their rivalry.
Probably something along those lines.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting match. I'm sure they're probably going to come prepared for that one. But I really, it's a simple pick for a simple match, and it'll make for an interesting one for sure.
The one question I would have asked you, Achieved, is the same one that I actually asked Nyx. If you got to pick your opponent, would have it been Tempo Storm? Would have you picked the Sonics, or would you have opted for the third pick?
I mean, to be honest, we would have probably picked Tempo. We might have picked the Sonics too, but I know that like we're gonna play them anyways. So, I mean, statistically speaking, in the past, we have matched up the best in this group, probably against Tempo. We've matched up well against everyone in this group, but I'd say like Tempo was like our last like best matchup. So, I mean, we're completely fine with this. And I mean, the team we might have picked, I guess, is like Sonics too. But either one of those was completely fine. We expect to play DZ like later on. So.
Now, the last question I have is for both of you before we toss it back to Jackie. You have a much better feel of where the teams are at in terms of their potential and the way that they're playing because you've been scrimming them. So I'll start with you, Achieved, and then we'll give Nyx the last word. Is there a team that was picked today that you think that teams are sleeping on and the community might be sleeping on that isn't your own team?
I mean, to be honest, I don't really think too much has changed from like last season based off of like scrims and stuff. I don't really think too much has changed, but I mean, I guess the wild cards would be like the teams that have like a new player. So like Tempo, I guess with Sloppy, just the teams with like newer players, like even us, we have a new player. I'd say those are somewhat like the wild cards, but in terms of like sleeping on another team, I mean, I think it's pretty much the same as last season, to be honest with you.
And you, Nyx?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak for TSM. I don't think that they're sleeping on Sonics. Obviously, they saw something, but if I was to pick a team, I would say Sonics just because of, kind of how Achieved is saying. That's like a wild card pick. They just recently picked up Iconic. We don't really know how they're going to play with that new pickup. And I'm curious to see how it works out for them. But yeah, if I was going to choose any team, I'd probably say Sonics.
I think the one thing that we can all agree upon is that it's going to be very interesting to see the way that these groups play out, and good luck on your first set of matches, gentlemen. With that, we'll toss it back to Jackie.
All right, thanks so much, Intero and Kickstar. Some great questions from our casters, and now we know who is playing who. But we are not done yet, folks. The day draw is next. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. An exciting day so far. We know who will be who, or who will be in Group A and Group B, and who will be playing who. And what are we thinking so far about these decisions, you guys? Group A is Oxygen versus Disrupt and EU versus SSG. Group B is Tempo Storm versus TSM, and then DZ versus Sonics. So a lot of shade being thrown there. Twitter already, we're seeing some stuff. I saw Fox tweeted out that we think we face it better against Oxygen. I'm sick of you. Calling out call out there. Veli, what do you think about all this? People getting hyped.
I think it's interesting, and it's too early to call out like what's actually about to go down. For those of you that just aren't aware, you're just tuning in for the first time ever in Rainbow Six Siege. Nyx and Retro were once a part of that Oxygen roster, so they know their play styles, they know what this team is capable of, and you never know, maybe they might have the perfect counter against Oxygen. So the trash talk, I mean, even though it's fun to look at now, I mean, if Disrupt comes up with the upset, I'm not saying it's gonna happen because I think Oxygen still should win that matchup. You know, it's gonna get spicy.
Okay, and Jesse, what are you thinking about all the Twitter fire right now?
I mean, I love to see it, right? Everybody
Right.
does. I think it's a really healthy and awesome part of, you know, an esports league is just getting into it a little bit, both in interviews, in the game, on Twitter. You know, as long as they keep it relatively to a civil level, which I think they are. They all are. And I think it's awesome, you know, just keep the players involved. Hopefully the fans can get in on it too and just like really get excited about their teams, because that's how you create rivalries. That's how leagues get exciting. So no, I love it. These teams are already going after each other, and I think, yeah, dude, I think that this,
bring it on.
this draw shows a perfect way to kind of bring that out, like letting the teams choose who they play against and who's in their group. Like that just really feeds the fire of rivalry, and I love it.
Yeah, and you know, Kix asked a great question. He said that it was a ballsy choice for Tempo Storm to pick TSM, and Chief seemed like so relaxed about it, you know? What was kind of your reaction to that, Belly?
Why the hell didn't they pick Sonics? Why the hell are you picking? Like they went off the ideology of like when you go to prison, you got to fight the biggest guy in the yard. No, this ain't prison. This season 1 of the new Rainbow Six League. Like pick Sonics. What are you doing? Like I don't know. They're crazy, but you know what? I respect it. Everyone out there are probably like, oh, they're gonna get, you know, the cheeks clapped. You know what though? You got to give a lot of respect to people that go for the top dogs on the court. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Tempo Storm knows that maybe we don't.
Me too. Jesse, what was your thoughts on that?
I don't know.
I definitely did not see that coming.
No, I think you can. Like Tempo Storm can have all the respect after they're, you know, getting 14-0'd by TSM in the best of threes. I think that was a terrible decision. I don't know. TSM is such a powerful opponent. I have to imagine that Tempo Storm were just like not liking the other options. Obviously, like Dark Zero is a really scary team, so I don't mind like not wanting to go up against them. And then Sonics, maybe they're afraid of too. I don't know. They said they chose the team they thought was the most powerful. But that means that if they lose their opening matchup, you know, in our format, they're going to kind of be playing for their lives, and it's going to be kind of difficult for them to make it to the top and make it to that top 4, which is really what's important. So Tempo Storm have put up a big wall in front of them, I would say. Not an unscalable wall. Obviously, Tempo Storm could, you know, pull up the upset and defeat TSM, but I don't really get the decision, and I don't personally love it.
You know what? I'm going to say this. Out of every team that we see on this list, you know, maybe teams weren't trying at the end of the season. Who knows? But Tempo Storm, they're writing off, what, a 14-2 score to end Pro League last season. Like I said, I respect it. If Tempo Storm happens to beat TSM, though, I'll let you know. I'll be a fan for life. That's going to be one of the best upsets I'll ever see.
100%.
We'll see if that plays out, actually, though. But okay, boys, you know what? It is time to move on to the day draw. So let's break this down for everybody. Veli, what can you tell us about the day draw? How does this work?
So you gave the chance to the top dogs to pick who's going to go into their group. We're going to switch it up. It's kind of like a snake draft. Now these teams that, you know, were picked last, they're able to choose who they win against. Going back down, they're gonna have to agree, on what day they want to play. It's gonna be either Monday or Wednesday. If they can't come up with a decision, my man Jesse and I, we're gonna flip a coin.
Okay, Jesse, you ready to take it away? Let's do this day draw. You think so?
Well, let's get into it.
I need you to be like, we're doing it.
I'm positive. Let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
Awesome. Space Station and E United should be our first teams. Here we go. Welcome, Kala. Welcome, Canadian. You guys are going to be playing against each other in the first round. Neither of you chose each other, but of course there's 4 teams in a group. You're the only 2 remaining options, so you'll be up against each other. Canadian, let me talk to you a little bit first. There were different methods of choosing opponents between Group A and Group B. Oxygen chose the weakest team. Tempo Storm chose the strongest team. Who do you think was right? What philosophy would you agree with? And if you had the choice, would you have chosen E United to go up against?
I mean, at the end of the day, we knew there's 7 other teams in this league, and they all have different mentalities and philosophies on like how they should pick their group. So like we knew like no one's gonna agree, no one's gonna do it the right way, or how we see is the right way. I think Sonics went about it the best way, but then United came back and picked OXG, and then all of a sudden Sonics didn't know what happened. So like you just can't account for it. Like there's just different teams that do things different ways. So I mean, we knew just coming in, like we have no idea who we're gonna have to play. Like so we picked what we saw as a weaker opponent, but like at the end of the day, everyone in this league is competitive. We're aware of that. We respect every team in this league. Obviously, we still hold ourselves to the highest standard. We think we are the best team in the league, and I think our biggest opponent is always ourselves. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter who we play. We just got to play our game, focus on ourselves.
I think that's a good mentality. You know, don't worry about the opponent. Focus on yourselves. I mean, it's the World Championship winning mentality, so you can't really argue with it. Khaled, I'll talk to you now. Obviously, you're playing the World Champions in the opening match. They just called themselves the best team in the league. That's how they consider themselves. So are you worried? Is this going to be a problem going up against Space Station?
I don't think it's a problem, more so as a great opportunity to kind of show how much we've grown in the offseason, especially the addition of Meavy, our new analyst. He's brought a lot, and I think it'll be a good opportunity to show what all he's actually brought on, playing a team like SSG.
That's true. Really, SSG is kind of known for all of the strats that they bring to the table, a really long list of support staff that obviously put in a ton of work to help with that team. So now you've got your own support staff that have started to put in work, very experienced in Europe, obviously, Meepy hopping the pond and helping you guys out. So that'll be really exciting to see how that match unfolds, and if we'll see some really interesting strats between you two. Canadian, we're obviously here to talk about what day you guys will be playing on. What are we talking about here? Are we more liking get it over with on Monday, or are we preferring to maybe take it back? What's the strategy in terms of choosing a day?
I'm going to be honest, I don't think there's really a strategy. So I was planning to come in here and just say I don't want to play on whatever day they want to play on, and then we do a coin flip. So what day do you want to play on? Call it.
I mean, Monday sounds good to me.
All right, Wednesday it is. Flip the coin, baby.
Okay, so Canadian's not having it. We're going to flip a coin, and you're just going to force the random. You have the power to do that. I have here a Canadian quarter. I'm going to be flipping this.
Caster.
Canadian, can you call heads or tails, please?
Heads.
Revealing now, it is tails. It's going to be tails.
That's tails, yeah.
Sorry. That's definitely a moose head on the end of that quarter. Other side was
Monday
definitely Queen Elizabeth.
Damn shame. I was really feeling Wednesday.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm sure your team will get over it. You'll be playing on Monday. You'll be taking the earlier slot. That's going to leave Auction and Disrupt be playing on Wednesday. And that's it for you guys. You've now chosen the day. You've had your opponents chosen for you, and you've to some extent chosen your group. So the whole week is set out for you guys. Just a general question before we toss it off. How do you feel about the group, your matchup, the day, everything that's going on today, Canadian?
I mean, like I said, we didn't know how all the other teams were going to pick. We figured that it would end up being something we thought this would be our exact group, but I will say we didn't think Group B would pick the way that they did. You don't know. You just don't know how teams are all going to pick. So, I mean, we're fine with it. We knew either way, we're going to have at least one tough team in our group probably. Sonics almost hooked us up and didn't. But then, no matter what, we'd have a tough team, but none of the big four, quote unquote. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, we just got to focus on ourselves. We're our biggest opponent, so.
It's good to hear. And call it, again, new league, obviously a whole new season, clean slate. How do you guys feel about it?
We're pretty excited, obviously. I think we got a really good group. With the exception of one team, actually, it's pretty much the group we were expecting to get. Overall, I think the new format's really good. The best of three, I think that's a lot more competitive. Just the best of one. I mean, anything can happen in a best of one. I think this will probably show who the better teams actually are.
All right, awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you for talking to me. I wish you both luck in your opening game, but also for the rest of the season. It should be a really fun one. We're going to head to Valley now with the last two teams to choose when they're going to play.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I mean, Super, Mr. Worldwide. What's going on, Super? How you feeling, man?
What's going on, baby? How's it going?
It is going good. So, Super, you chose No, excuse me. Oh, Mint, you chose to go against Sonics. I mean, there's got to be a reason for it. You got to feel confident. So the breakdown of this is we're going to choose what day we're going to play on. Mint, I don't know why it says Nick's under your name, but Mint, what day would you like to play the Sonics on? Would you like to get it over on Monday, or you want to wait till Wednesday? Give them time to prep against you.
I don't really think it matters, but if I have to speak on something, I'll probably say Wednesday, just because, it'll give us 2 more days of practice, which I think benefits us more than other teams. But yeah, it doesn't really matter to me.
All right, Mr. Bowtie, if you had to choose any day to go against Dark Zero, I mean, Monday or Wednesday, what's it going to be?
I honestly don't think it matters, so Wednesday's fine with us.
All right. So with a matchup like this, Super, I mean, a lot of people, they're going to think Dark Zero, they're just going to roll over you guys. I mean, they got the resume, they got the history. Do you feel that confident against them? Like, in the best of 3, what do you think the score is going to be? Be honest.
I mean, obviously, we picked Dark Zero. Obviously, we didn't expect to play them or TSM until after we beat Tempo Storm. I'm obviously biased, but based off of scrims, I actually think the best 4 teams are us, TSM, Dark Zero, and SSG right now. So I think our group is pretty strong. People are saying like Tempo Storm is just like brave or whatever. Like, I just feel like they're just stupid. Like, I cannot find a logical reason for picking TSM to play first. Unless they're just like, unless like Crazy is so scared of me, he's like, please just don't pick the Sonics, anybody but the Sonics. I can't understand the logic of being like, yeah, we want to play the best team because we're crazy. Like, everybody knows you're not crazy. So they have a guy named Crazy. He's certainly not crazy. So I just don't understand the logic in it. Obviously us against Dark Zero, we're going to be an underdog. It's going to be a very difficult match. I think we have a chance to win. But either way, I know that we'll beat Tempo Storm because it is double elimination. So if we did lose and have to play them, I'm sure we'll either play Dark Zero or TSM again. So I don't really think it matters who you play first, because at the end of the day, Tempo Storm's getting last in our group. I don't think that's like disputable, really.
So basically, Tempo Storm, I mean, they're scared, right?
That's the only, I honestly, that has to be the only logical explanation, right? If you're Tempo Storm and you're like think about if you're the owner or like whoever, the general manager of Tempo Storm, and you're like watching this and you're paying me, like, they make a lot of money. I know how much money they make. And you're watching this and they're like, oh, nice match for the Sonics. This is going to be a close match maybe. And then he's like, we want to play TSM because we want to play the best. Like, the Tempo Storm guy's like, well, I guess that's less screen time for us now because we're just going to get 14-0'd and then be shoved, on to next week. I just don't understand it, honestly, but it is what it is. Tempo Storm plays disorganized, like they have no idea what they're doing, and it seems like in regards to this, they also have no idea what they're doing.
So I'm going to be completely honest. If you wind up beating Dark Zero, that's going to be an amazing upset. I'm not dissing your skill, but looking at the resume, it's going to be a good upset. If it happens, I'll lick your head on stream. But Mint, back to you.
I might have my
There's
hair
some disrespect. Nah, you got to shave it off for me, baby. So Mint, for you. The team called you out earlier. They said they wanted to choose you guys first because they didn't think you guys were that good on land. I criticize you guys. A lot of people really think you guys can't get it done. Now, you're placed outside of top 1 last season. A bit of a shock to me, to be quite honest. What do you have to say to the people out there that are really doubting you for this first season?
I don't really understand it, to be honest. I mean, we made 2 roster changes, brought 2 players on that are great at LAN, and we had a really good LAN, in my opinion, invitational. We were still a young roster with that. So I don't really understand it. People want to keep calling us an online team. So be it. The season is online, so, get ready for that. And then as soon as it's, on LAN again, we'll be ready for that as well.
It sounds great. So we're both going to agree that... Oh, boy.
These guys play second at the season final and then top 4 at the invitational. So just being like, well, they're just onliners, like, they're still technically like top 4 in the world based off of LAN results. Yeah. So to say they're like some online team is kind of disrespectful.
Listen, Super. I love it. I love the personality. I love the haircut. It's sexy on you. Mint. By the way, I was gonna wear that hoodie today if we were allowed to. I love it. Thanks for the merch. You guys didn't buy me. I'm not gonna be biased. I'm gonna keep it real. But other than that, I wish you guys the best of luck. So it's definitely Wednesday, right? Final answer.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Locked in.
Works for us.
All right, we're locked in. So let's take it away to Jackie and let's move along with the show.
All
See you guys
right.
later.
Oh my goodness. So much shade being thrown there, and Veli just stoking the fire. You're like, just let him go. You know what? I'm digging the sunglasses.
Can I be honest?
I'm digging the sunglasses.
I'm gonna be entirely honest, and shout out to Fabian as well. But the players, they get limited chances to really speak their mind about how they want to play certain players, how they dislike players, how they think they're the best in the world. And I think it's about time we change things up and give them a platform to talk about that stuff. It's important for the scene. I love it in the environment, and I want more of it. So shout out to Men, shout out to Super, shout out to everybody else that's been involved so far. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely let Super get on a platform there. He was just tearing into crazy, talking about salaries. I was like, okay, Super. Jesse, what did you think about all the interactions? It's certainly been fun.
Hold up, Veli, did you tell Super that if he beats Dark Zero, you will lick his head?
That happened.
Did I hear that correctly? That's the reward?
That did happen.
Correct.
So
Confirmed.
he must make sure his head stays shaved.
That's true. That's true.
I'll shave a little part off if he grows hair and just give him a smooch. So we'll see what happens.
I love it. Sure, why not? Yeah, that's all I got from that interaction. I loved it though.
That was your biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's break down everything that happened today. So Group A, Oxygen versus Disrupt Wednesday, SSG versus E United Monday, Group B, Tempo versus TSM Monday, and then Sonics versus Dark Zero on Wednesday. How are we feeling about all this? It's all locked in now.
Jesse,
Veli?
take it. Now I'm gonna let Jesse go.
Okay.
Jesse's been killing it so far.
Okay.
Thanks, Veli. I mean, we still ended up with a top 4 team, predictably, against a bottom 4 team. At least that's how we see them in the opening matchups. There were a lot of curveballs again in Group B to get to that result, but we still have TSM against Tempo Storm and then the Songs versus Dark Zero. So I think that after all the craziness of today, we'll end up with relatively standard first week, right? We should see on Monday Space Station and TSM win their games, and then we should see on Wednesday Dark Zero and Oxygen take their games. Now, games aren't played on paper. What should happen definitely is not what will happen, but that's sort of what it's looking like for those 2 days. But as a lot of the players said today, it's a lot of opportunities, right? Like Tempo Storm mentioned it. I thought United mentioned it as well, where they've got really tough first round opponents, but that just means that they have time to prove themselves. They can really show up big in this first week and make a big statement. So, man, I'm excited. This is going to be a really, really interesting first week. It's going to be a really interesting first season. And it's looking good.
The way I see it right now, if one game goes entirely off the rails, this is going to change the entire look of what we've expected, period. And that's the reason why I love this format. You lose first and you're not going to get guaranteed top 4 placement. So if Tempo or even, I think United has a ton of potential as well. If they happen to win against one of these top tier teams, one of these giants, that's going to be big. But Wednesday, by far, in my opinion, has the best games. I really want to see Sonics against Dark Zero. But most importantly, it might be a revenge match between Retro and Nyx. They got to feel a certain way not being on Oxygen anymore. They want to get that win, and maybe it might be personal behind the scenes for them to win against their former teammates. So I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, so much drama cooking.
Yes.
We are counting down to June 22nd already. Next Monday. Can you guys believe it? It can't come sooner though, right? I just wanted to get started now.
Let's do it.
Yes, right. And a big thank you to all of our teams, to our casters, obviously our analysts. Love you guys. You're fantastic. To our crew who's working so hard behind the scenes, to our sponsors, Corsair and Predator. And do not forget to follow us on social, R6 Esports NA on Twitter, and then R6 Esports on Instagram. And make sure you tweet me, Veli, Jesse, and the casters. Who's going to take it all? What was your favorite moments? There were so many surprises in my opinion. So please, we love interacting with you guys. We love you all so much. So you guys want to say bye? Say bye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye. We love you, Siege
See you in a week.
No, you guys are beautiful.
Yeah.
I love you. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be live. This NA League is going to be everything we've always wanted. So listen, show out, support the streams. Let's get it going. I'm ready.
Yeah, man, get excited because these games are going to be so good. And if you're like half excited as I am, then that'll be good enough. We should have a fantastic season on our hands.
Yes.
Aw, great job today, you guys. And we love all of you at home. Thank you so much for watching. See you later. Bye, Siege fam.
Here we go now.